Today we're finally going to do a proper review of the Uppababy Minu V2 that's taken all the way till now to get to Norway, despite being launched last year. We've been looking forward to this one for quite a while, as the Minu has long been one of our favorite ultra compacts, and even though the changes accompanying the V2 update are pretty minimal, it's still high time to have another in-depth look at the model. So, in any case, I'm going to just jump right into it then, going over the Minu V2 from top to bottom and examining its advantages and disadvantages in terms of child comfort, ease of use, performance and mechanics, before ending with a discussion of which uses and environments it will best suit. And starting off with some stats, the Minu V2 clocks in at 7.6 kilos and folds down to 32 by 52 by 58 centimeters, with the bumper bar attached. It can take the standard 22.5 kilos in the seat and a full 9 kilos in the underslung shopping basket. When it comes to child comfort, the Minu V2 seat has a decent upright position and a reclined position that, though not fully flat, is still sufficient for napping. The dimensions of the model's seat are quite large overall, with a generous width of 34 centimeters and a maximum length of 123, determined by adding up the lengths of the backboard, baseboard, space beneath the canopy, and the distance between the seat and footrest. In practice, this means that the Minu V2 will remain usable all the way up until 3.5 or 4 years old, though I would note that the newly added adjustable leg rest, while a nice addition, is only 13 centimeters and is unlikely to provide leg support for younger toddlers in the reclined position past 2 years old or so. As far as other aspects of the seat are concerned, the Minu V2 has somewhat softer textiles than the older version, and the canopy has been upgraded with the standard extra portion zipped into the back, which is a more pleasant way of expanding the canopy in my opinion, and slightly improves what was already pretty adequate sun coverage. Moving on to parent comfort, the Minu V2 has a fixed handle height of 104 centimeters and a larger and more accessible shopping basket than what one finds on most ultra compacts. Folding the model is easy, can be accomplished with one hand, and the process feels quite sturdy in terms of the mechanisms, which is nice and something that can definitely not be said of all strollers of this size. When folded down, the Minu V2 is pretty bulky versus other ultra compacts, and though it has both a handle and a shoulder strap, it's not the sort of stroller that you'll want to have to carry around for long periods, slung from your shoulder. The folded dimensions of the Minu V2 are unfortunately not within the IATA's guidelines for cabin luggage, and my experience talking with parents is that a lot of airlines won't let you take it on the plane, but it does fold down to within widely accepted standards for gate checking, and it's also of a very convenient size for packing in the trunk or other situations where you might appreciate a small folding stroller. As far as driving is concerned, the Minu V2 has a sturdy, rigid feel, not loose side to side, and also has both well above average suspension for a model of this size and larger than average rear wheels that further contribute to shock absorption as well as easier curb popping. The Minu V2 is of course not built for any real off-roading, but can handle gravel, dirt roads, broken sidewalks and so on, without either feeling too jittery thanks to that shock absorption, as well as without risk of loosening up too much as a result of wear, if you need to traverse such conditions as an everyday thing. Alright, let's move on to the mechanics of the model then, beginning with the folding system and the overall structure of the chassis, where the Minu V2 uses a similar setup to Uppababy's larger models, the Cruise and Vista V2, built simply and involving predominantly metal internal components, most importantly, thick, cleverly angled rectangular steel pins within the folding locks themselves, which are protected by reinforced housings from loosening up and wearing down as a result of steering pressure. And the larger structural design of the chassis is equally impressive, where the Minu V2, in my opinion, probably has the sturdiest skeleton of any ultra compact on the market, with strong reinforced hinges and connection points and a ton of support bars, both vertically, in the way the handle arms connect with the bars running down to the front frame above the locking point of the fold, and also horizontally, with support from the front frame, a welded rear crossbar, a central crossbar, a sturdy set of support struts involved with the seat, and the handle itself. Moving down to the rear frame, the Minu V2 again has quite nice and noticeable suspension, due both to the way it's angled as well as a proper degree of tension in the springs. The model's brake system, however, is not my favorite sort of setup, involving 2 pedals and being wire-based, without an adjustment screw for mitigating wear over time. And this sort of system does occasionally run into problems down the line, in particular if it's not lubricated regularly. That being said, Uppababy models pretty much always have complicated wire-based systems, and the Minu V2s is at least disassemblable, and Uppababy is pretty good about providing spare parts for their models, should you eventually need to swap out the wire, for example. When it comes to the wheels, the rear wheels are again built a little larger than on most ultra compacts, and the tires are made of strong rubber that tends not to wear down too quickly. The wheels sit a tad looser than I'd like within the housings, but using the original Minu as a test case, I haven't really seen or heard of any problems occurring from this over time. Looking lastly at the front frame, the wheel size is again decent, and there's a bit of suspension built into the forks. Not to the degree that you'll notice it as much as the rear suspension, but still enough to help with a bit of extra shock absorption. The Minu V2 doesn't have swivel locks, though this is okay in my opinion, as, despite being capable of dealing with some of the lighter, rough situations found in urban environments, it's still not the sort of stroller you should be taking too much off-road. The connection of the front forks within their housings is protected against horizontal pressure by using two separate circumferences with the axle, in terms of both the axle itself and this raised plastic lip at the bottom, which distributes the stress of steering or bumpy terrain such that the axle doesn't tend to widen out the channel to the point of causing wobbling problems. So, should you get the Minu V2 then? Yes, absolutely. Despite being a bit large for cabin luggage, and my having a few nitpicks with some of the peripheral elements of its design, such as the brake system, the Minu V2 is an awesome stroller, and fills a niche need for parents whose lifestyle may point towards an ultra-compact as a good choice, for storage reasons for example, or living in a city that has narrower than average doorways or lots of small shops, but who also need something that can hold up to regular all-day use in rougher urban environments, that may have broken sidewalks, dirt paths, or lighter cobblestones. It also makes for a solid choice for keeping in the trunk and pairing with a car seat. And it's also one of those models whose base design has been around for many years now and has proven itself to hold up quite well over time. In any case, we hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please subscribe, as this sort of support really helps us to continue making videos in the future. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find it by following the link in the description. Thank you.